Okay, let's dive in. We're taking a look at a topic that, well, it seems to hold a lot of tension for many people: wealth and happiness.
Hmm. Can you really have both? It's a big question.
It is. And our source material for this deep dive is from the book Eight Habits of the Happy Millionaire by Bo Sanchez. He's a best-selling author and also a missionary.
And our mission today, basically guided by the source text you provided, is to unpack the author's pretty fascinating personal story.
Right. Like, how did he go from being, as he puts it, a poor missionary for, what, 2 decades?
Yeah, to becoming this millionaire missionary. And, what are the specific habits and principles he actually credits for getting there?
And not just the money part, but also finding that deep personal happiness alongside it.
Exactly. Achieving both. That's the core of it.
Right. And the source material, it really has some surprising insights. It definitely challenges some conventional wisdom, wouldn't you say?
Oh, absolutely. We're going to dig into ideas like why real wealth might not be about money at all.
Yeah. And even some perspectives on things like, well, aging. That might make you pause.
It definitely pushes back against some, ingrained ideas
Yeah.
about poverty and faith and wealth.
So right off the bat, the author makes a pretty bold claim, doesn't he?
He does. That he is a millionaire missionary,
Which means like actively involved in ministry, serving the poor.
but also owning businesses and investments at the same time.
Yeah, it's a combination that you don't often hear put together so directly.
No, it's certainly a claim that sparks debate,
Yeah.
especially in some spiritual circles. But his core message right from the start is kind of revolutionary for a lot of
Which
people.
is
You are not destined to be poor. That financial freedom, wealth, they're attainable. And he really stresses they are ultimately a choice.
a choice,
Okay.
not like something you're just stuck with or a sign of piety.
Exactly. He argues becoming a happy millionaire isn't luck or circumstance. It's the result of cultivating specific habits.
Habits he learned and tested himself.
Yeah, he says over 12 years. Apparently prompted by, the financial realities that hit when he got married.
Hmm. And he tackles that big tension directly. Rich and happy. Possible.
His answer, based on his experience and these principles, is a clear yes. He sees both happiness and wealth as choices, things you actively make happen.
And it's interesting how the book is dedicated, isn't it?
It really is to spiritual people
Hmm.
trapped in their financial struggles because they were taught wrongly.
Wow. That dedication alone tells you this book is going to challenge maybe some unhelpful beliefs about faith and money.
For sure, it sets the stage.
All right, let's jump into the first habit then. Habit one, define your wealth. What's the core concept here? Because it sounds simple, but maybe isn't.
Well, the most striking point is his idea that real wealth is way more than just money. Money, for him, is just energy.
Energy. How so?
It doesn't fundamentally change you, he says. It just, amplifies who you already are.
Okay, so if you're greedy,
More money makes you greedier. If you're loving, more money helps you be more living. It fuels what's already inside.
got it. So it's not the money itself, but what you do with it, who you are with it. He gives an example from his own organization, right?
Yes, the Light of Jesus group. He talks about how they deliberately prioritize relationships within their leadership team.
Like those trips he mentioned.
Exactly. Trips to Vietnam or vegan.
Yeah.
Not just for work meetings, but specifically to, eat together, laugh, just hang out, investing in the friendships.
And he connects that to loyalty.
Definitely. He notes that after 30 years, a lot of the original team are still there, and he thinks that focus on relationships as wealth is a big reason why.
So what does he personally define as his wealth then, if not money?
For him, number one, it's his relationship with God, then family, friends, and also the poor people he ministers to every day. Those connections, that's his real wealth.
Okay, that makes sense conceptually. But well, where does the money actually fit in? You still need it, right?
Oh, he's very practical about it. Money isn't his definition of wealth, but it's a crucial tool. It helps him have more of what he actually values.
Ah, so it enables the relationships.
Precisely. Money lets him invest in them consistently, like dating his wife every week for 12 years straight,
Wow, every week.
taking his kids out one-on-one regularly, spending time with his 84-year-old mother.
Right, there's that funny story about his mom in restaurants.
Oh, yeah. Her insisting on the really simple, cheap places.
Complaining about the soda price?
Exactly. Saying P40 for a soft drink is outrageous when you can buy a whole liter for that, reminding him of prices back during the Japanese occupation.
Classic.
But the point is, It's those simple meals, that shared time, which money helps make happen consistently, that build the relationship well.
Money as the enabler, not the goal itself.
That's the key. And this links directly back to the reason for earning money in the first place.
How so?
When you define your real wealth relationships, purpose, impact, whatever it is for you, that becomes your powerful why for earning. Money then becomes a means to, bless people, strengthen those connections, invest in what truly matters.
That's a really powerful shift in perspective.
Yeah.
Which leads us nicely into habit 2, find your emotional why.
Right. And what does the author say is the biggest reason people fail with financial goals?
He's very blunt about it.
Yeah. Lack of a fierce emotional reason, he calls it hunger.
So it's not just wanting it casually, it needs to be deeper.
Exactly. He points out something interesting. We usually make choices based on emotion first.
And then we use logic later.
Yeah, to justify the emotional choice we already made. So to build wealth, you need an emotional reason that's so strong, so fierce, it just powers you through all the tough stuff.
He uses that really intense example, almost shocking, about the smoker.
Ricky the smoker, yeah. If someone held a gun to his daughter Susie's head, told him, quit smoking right now or they shoot.
He'd quit instantly.
Instantly. No quoting. The emotional why saving his child is just overwhelming. The difficulty of quitting, irrelevant. Like the author quotes, when the why is big enough, facts don't matter.
Wow. That really drives home the power of emotion. So this hunger, this desire, it has to be really personal deep down.
He actually believes our deepest desires, our big whys are like from the stars, planted by God.
So you need to know yourself well to find them.
Deep self-reflection, yeah. And the source shares his own fierce emotional reasons. What drove him?
He lists 3 main ones, right?
Yeah. First, for his ministry. He talks about the frustration, the pain of not having funds for new projects or not being able to help someone right away with a simple need.
Like seeing a need and being powerless financially.
Exactly. And that frustration fueled this powerful fantasy, being able to just say, yes, I'll cover that scholarship without even finishing reading the email asking for help. Like with the Ray Ortega example he gives.
So the pain of not being able to help drove the desire to be able to help.
Totally. Second big reason, provide for his family.
And he stresses this isn't selfish.
Not at all. It's a valid hunger, he says. Even points to 1 Timothy 5.8 about providing for your household. He wanted enough for good schools, family vacations, emergencies.
The practical stuff?
Yeah, medicine, car repairs, whatever comes up. But also, importantly, he wanted to avoid the huge stress and fights about money that can happen in a marriage.
That's a very real why for many people. And his third reason is, well, a bit more every day.
He calls them his little joys. He just always loved simple restaurants, reading in a coffee shop.
Things he couldn't always afford when he was poor.
Right. He even quotes Ecclesiastes about God letting us enjoy our wealth. But yeah, for years, even simple things like a Jollibee meal were sometimes out of reach. He mentions having to walk away because he didn't have the cash.
Which brings us, oh boy,
Yeah.
to the crispy pata story.
Ah, the infamous crispy pata embarrassment, trying to impress a girl.
Thinking it was fee 150 for the whole thing.
Only to find out it was P150 per 100 grams, and they served him 300 grams.
Plus the dessert wasn't free either.
Nope. The P20 Macapuno surprise, the bill was way more than he had to borrow from his date.
Oh, the cringe. That's a memory that sticks with you.
He calls it one of his most embarrassing moments ever, right up there with preaching with his fly down.
Huh. Okay, maybe worse than the fly.
But that specific painful memory fueled what he called a wild fantasy.
Which was?
The dream of walking into any restaurant, looking at the menu, and ordering anything he wanted without even looking at the prices.
The freedom from that specific anxiety.
Exactly. So that emotional pain, that desire to never feel that humiliation again, it became a really powerful driver for him to change his financial situation. A perfect example of channeling pain into desire.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's look at habit 3. Create your wealth beliefs. Here, the author argues that beliefs are even stronger than conscious decisions.
Yeah, it's a key point. Decisions come from the conscious mind, he says. But habits and beliefs, which are like habits of thought, they're rooted in the unconscious mind.
And the unconscious is much more powerful.
Massively more powerful. Habits are like 1,000 times stronger than a one-off decision. He uses the gym example packed in January.
Empty by February.
Right.
Right. The decision was there, but not the underlying habit or belief.
Exactly. And get this, the processing power difference he cites is mind-boggling. Conscious mind, maybe 2,000 bits per second. Non-conscious, 400 billion bits per second.
Whoa. That's a huge difference.
And nerve impulses,
Wow.
conscious, 120 mile per hour, unconscious, over 100,000 mile per hour. So something like 96, 98% of our behavior is just automatic, run by the unconscious.
So wealthy people have automatic wealth habits, including thought habits.
That's the idea. Their beliefs make getting richer almost automatic because the powerful unconscious mind is working for them, not against them.
And where do these powerful beliefs come from, usually?
A lot comes from repetition, especially when we're young, and often it's negative stuff.
Like hearing no all the time.
Yeah, he cites a stat suggesting that by age 17, you might have heard, "You can't do that," or something similar like 150,000 times.
Oof, that's a lot of negative programming to overcome.
It really is. And that's why he stresses the huge role parents play. He talks about how he deliberately brainwashed his own sons, Benet and Francis,
Brainwash them.
by constantly telling them they were brilliant, praising their efforts, catching them doing things right, not just pointing out mistakes. He really believes that installing that positive belief system early was key to his son Benet starting businesses and even hosting TV shows young.
Okay, so if we have been programmed with limiting beliefs, how do we actually change them? It sounds hard.
He uses a great analogy, clearing a path in a really dense forest.
The first time is super difficult.
Right, you're hacking away. But
That-
each time you walk it, it gets a little easier, clearer. Changing beliefs is like forging that new mental path through repetition.
And how long does that repetition take? Is there a time frame?
He talks about the power of 28 days. He
Yeah.
brings up that NASA experiment where astronauts wore goggles that flipped everything upside down.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
Their brains actually adjusted and flipped the world back visually after about 26 to 30 days. So you need roughly a month of consistent, repetitive, new input to start rewiring those neural pathways.
Bombarding your mind with new patterns. What are the actual steps he recommends? 3 steps, right?
Yep. Step 1. Write down a very clear, specific financial dream, like I will be earning X amount by Y date. Make it concrete. He even mentions people using his Novena to God's Love booklet seeing amazing results just from writing down their dreams.
Okay. Put the destination clearly on paper. Step 2.
Create new beliefs that actually support that dream. Write them down. He admits they might feel totally fake at first, like you're lying to yourself.
But write them anyway.
Yes. He gives examples like, I am God's beloved, I'm a blessing magnet, I am always guided, I'm a brilliant entrepreneur, money flows easily to me, I am anointed to inspire millions. He also suggests weaving in favorite Bible verses that back these up, like Mark 9.23, everything is possible for one who believes.
So like positive affirmations, but really grounded in your faith and the specific vision you wrote down.
Exactly. And step 3 is the engine. Declare these dreams and beliefs every single day, multiple times a day.
Repetition is key.
Repetition and feeling. You have to try and feel the truth of them as you say them. He's really strong on this. Our limits aren't usually external circumstances, they are our internal beliefs. Because beliefs, well, they tend to become self-fulfilling.
He even shares his own journey, overcoming that poverty mindset he felt he got partly from his mom.
Yeah, that tablecloths mean expensive kind of thinking. The feeling that money is scarce, hard to get. He talks about consciously working for years to replace that with a prosperity mindset. Money is flowing, easy to earn, abundant.
And his message is that change is possible for anyone.
Absolutely. You can rewire those old beliefs.
Which leads us to habit 4. Be consistently aggressive. Okay, aggressive can sound negative. How does he mean it?
He draws a sharp line between just wishing for something and being truly committed. Aggressive people, in his positive use of the term, are committed. They pursue their dreams with focused energy and determination.
And he says this goes against the culture sometimes.
Yeah, he feels some cultures value passiveness, docility. He even mentions that old song, Heart of Jesus, Meek and Mild, as maybe contributing to an ideal of being passive.
But he reinterprets Jesus' character.
Right. He says Jesus was meek, humble, yes, but absolutely not mild. Jesus was aggressive, determined, fiercely committed to his mission. He makes the provocative point that only aggressive people, people who really challenge things, get crucified.
Interesting take. So all successful people have this positive aggressiveness.
Towards their dreams, yes, that's his assertion.
Now, this section also touches on a pretty sensitive area, the link between religion and poverty, especially in very religious countries.
It does. He recounts a conversation with a wealthy foreigner who observed the deep religiosity in the Philippines alongside significant poverty.
Compared to other places.
Yeah, compared to places like Vietnam or China, which seemed less overtly religious, but were growing economically much faster, the foreigner pointed to foreign investment levels as a key difference.
And the author suggests a specific historical reason for Maybe a cultural passivity in the Philippines.
He argues that a wrong kind of religion was taught during the Spanish colonial era, a religion that emphasized being submissive, being content with very little in this life, and just praying for rewards in heaven.
Making people less likely to strive for material improvement.
That's his interpretation. He sees cultural things like the Bahay Kubo folk song celebrating a simple hut and basic vegetables or symbols like the sampaguita flower or the Maya bird as reflecting this mindset of being content with little. He feels it's time to move past that kind of passive religiosity.
Okay. And he identifies 5 specific cultural roots he believes contribute to this passiveness, things that hold people back.
Yeah. First, the Hosingdero complex, like a lingering dependence on a powerful patron figure, which he sees nowadays and how people might depend on political leaders instead of taking initiative themselves.
I would second.
Second, the Bahala Na attitude, that fatalistic, whatever happens, happens mindset. He says it's a distortion of the original, more positive Bathala Na, which meant more like, God willing, I'll do my best. Now it often means just leaving things to chance.
Like hoping your kid passes the exam without really studying hard.
Exactly. Third is the lotto culture, pinning all your hopes on sheer luck, like winning the lottery or TV contests. He even sees people treating network marketing like a lottery when it actually requires real work.
Okay.
Fourth, the mañana habit, classic procrastination. Putting off important things, especially financial things like fixing the roof before it rains or starting to invest or renewing insurance, always tomorrow.
And the last one is pretty ugly.
Fifth, yes, crab mentality. Actively pulling down anyone who tries to get ahead, criticizing successful people, starting gossips, oh, he must be a smuggler or she must have a sugar daddy, just pure envy.
And he warns that envy is poisonous.
Absolutely. He says it prevents your own success. He urges you to train yourself to genuinely celebrate when others succeed.
Those are some really challenging observations about cultural tendencies. So to fight these, he offers 7 laws of this positive aggressiveness.
Right. Number 1 is the law of clarity. Know exactly what you want. Like Tiger Woods knew he wanted to be the best golfer, or Bill Clinton aimed for the presidency early on. Be specific.
Okay. Law 2.
Law of focus. Single-minded concentration on that clear goal. We'll apparently hear more on this in Habit 7.
3.
Law of intensity. Bring passion. Be on fire for your goal. He mentions that study of 5,000 entrepreneurs where passion was the common thread. Not obsession, he clarifies, but real passion.
4 is about doing, right?
Law of action. Don't just decide. Do something. He uses that riddle about the frogs on the fence deciding to jump isn't the same as jumping. And fail quickly, learn, try again. He quotes Eric Schmidt from Google on that.
Makes sense. 5.
Law of hustle. Keep looking for open doors, opportunities. Don't give up easily. Think Walt Disney's 300+ rejections for his park idea, or Colonel Sanders getting turned down over 1,000 times for his chicken recipe.
Wow, that's persistence. 6.
Law of gestation. Understand that things take time to develop. Like a baby needs 9 months. Success is often like 90% preparation and only 10% action. Luck is when that preparation finally meets an opportunity.
And the final law ties it all together ethically.
Law of integrity. Do everything from a place of love. Your aggressiveness should be loving. Focus not just on making money, but on psychic income, making the world better, making a positive impact. Ask yourself, are these goals worthy of me?
He uses Sylvester Stallone's life story as a major example of this kind of relentless positive aggressiveness.
Yeah, it's a powerful story. Born into poverty, the speech impediment from birth complications, constantly hustling for acting roles, having to sell his dog for $50 just to eat.
And the whole Rocky story is incredible.
Turning down $1 million for the script because he had to star in it himself, even though they only offered him $35,000 to do it. That's commitment. That's aggressiveness for your dream.
It really is an amazing example of betting on yourself.
Definitely. And he encourages you, the listener, to kind of rate your own aggressiveness level. How committed are you, really, compared to that kind of drive?
Okay, let's shift to habit 5. Create your money machines. This sounds intriguing. How does he say God usually provides for us?
His view is interesting. 99% of the time, God provides through what he calls money machines, not by just, dropping cash on us directly.
Money machines. So the big difference between poor and wealthy isn't just having money.
It's owning the source of the money, the machine that makes it.
Okay, and he talks about 2 stages of financial life.
Right. Stage 1. Man works for money. This is where you trade your time, your skills, your energy directly for income, like a job or being self-employed.
Most people are in stage 1.
Yeah. He says many get stuck here, Busy earning, but maybe not getting truly wealthy in all areas of life because their time is consumed by work.
That's stage 2.
Stage 2 is where money works for man. This is where you have assets, money machines that generate income for you, more or less automatically, whether you're actively working at that moment or not.
And that's what frees up your time for family, service, doing what you love.
That's the goal. Stage 2 gives you freedom.
He uses that memorable parable. The golden eggs and the golden chickens.
Ah, yes. Mang Pong, the farmer, and the alien chicken that lays one golden egg a month.
And he just sells the eggs.
Sells the eggs, buys stuff, lives better for a while, but then gets impatient, greedy.
Cuts open the chicken, hoping for more eggs inside.
And kills his only source of wealth. Poof. Gone.
So the lesson is,
don't just spend the golden eggs, the money you earn. You need to incubate some of those eggs, invest the money to hatch more golden chickens, create more money machines.
the poor focus on spending the eggs, the wealthy focus on creating more chickens.
That's the core idea. He also warns that just having money or assets without the money machines to support them can actually become burdens.
How so?
Because things need upkeep. Houses need repairs, cars need maintenance and gas, taxes are due. He even suggests praying for the money machine first because that's what provides the ongoing income to sustain the lifestyle and the assets.
So real financial wealth isn't just owning stuff, it's having the mindset and the ability to create income streams.
Exactly. Wealth is owning the chicken, not just collecting the eggs. He jokes about seeing people with fancy Rolexes or BMWs. Sometimes those are just borrowed eggs, bought on credit without the income machine to back them up long term.
Okay, so what kinds of money machines are there? He breaks them down, right?
Right. Two main types. First, manual money machines. This is your job. Or being self-employed like a doctor, dentist, artist. You're still exchanging time directly for money. Stop working, the money stops. Even if you're rich, it's manual.
And the other type?
Automatic money machines. These generate income more passively. He puts paper assets, businesses, and properties in this category. Think of it like a computer versus a typewriter, much more efficient leverage.
Okay, let's dig into the automatic ones. Paper assets, what does that include?
He talks about things like RTBs, retail treasury bonds. Basically, you're lending money to the government. It's generally considered low risk, especially for larger amounts. He also talks a lot about mutual funds.
How do mutual funds work?
You pool your money with other investors, give it to a professional fund manager, and they invest it in a whole basket of different bonds or stocks. The entry point can be pretty low, like P5,000 or P10,000 he mentions.
But the key is long-term.
Absolutely crucial. He stresses you need to think long-term, like 6 years or more, ideally much longer. He shares his own experience turning P300K into P500K this way. He also mentions index funds in the U.S. as an option.
And those comparison tables he includes really show the power of time and interest rates.
Oh, they're incredibly eye-opening. Saving just P1,000 a month, which sounds small, but at 12% interest over 30 years, it grows to over P3.2 million.
Wow. And P10,000 a month.
That becomes P32 million over 30 years at 12%. It just hammers home the power of compounding growth over long periods.
And why traditional bank savings accounts aren't great for long-term wealth building.
Exactly. Unless you're already super rich, the low interest rates, he mentions 4% or less, just don't cut it for significant growth compared to investment.
He also tackles the stock market. People often think it's risky.
He makes a very important distinction. He says it is dangerous if you're trying to trade, actively buying and selling frequently, trying to time the market. He says 85% of traders lose money and advises against it unless it's literally your full-time job.
So what's the alternative?
Investing. Buying shares in solid companies and holding them for the long haul. Years, decades, maybe even never selling, like Warren Buffett. Focus on your main job or business, he says, and invest patiently on the side.
How does he suggest doing that practically?
He recommends money cost averaging. Investing a fixed amount, say P5,000 or P10,000 regularly every month, no matter if the market is up or down. He mentions programs like Citiz Online's Easy Investment Program.
And he gives projection.
Yeah, based on historical growth rates of 22–24%, he says that program forecasts reaching P10 million in about 22 years with regular contributions. He even mentions a personal service he runs and a report called My Maid Invests in the Stock Market to show it's accessible.
Okay, besides paper assets, properties are another automatic money machine.
Yes. But again, the key is making them generate income, not just owning them. He credits his mentor Larry Gamboa here and shares his own strategy.
The foreclosed condo example.
Right. Buying a foreclosed unit cheap, say P1M, borrowing the P200K down payment he borrowed from his mother-in-law,
Right.
then selling it via a rent-to-own scheme.
So the buyer pays rent, which covers his mortgage, and gives him profit.
Exactly. He mentions getting P10,000 a month in passive income for 20 years from one deal like that, and he's done it with 9 condos. He also tells the inspiring story of Neves, a market vendor who started small and eventually owned 70 apartment units.
Wow, from market vendor to 70 apartments. That's
Yeah.
incredible. And his personal favorite money machine.
Business. He really sees business as a form of ministry, serving people, solving their problems. He says love is the best business strategy.
And his goal isn't to run them forever himself.
No, his approach is to work intensely with the team for maybe 6 to 12 months to get the business set up and running smoothly, ideally on autopilot with the team managing it. Then he can step back and move on to start the next venture, freeing up his time.
So the call to action here is to figure out, are you in stage 1, working for money, or stage 2, money working for you? And start listing the money machines you want to build.
Yeah, shift that focus from just earning to building income-generating assets.
Which leads perfectly into habit 6, control your cash. He starts this one by connecting money handling to something deep, the state of your soul.
It's a really spiritual take on finances. He directly challenges the idea that saving money shows a lack of trust in God.
Yeah.
He points right to the Bible, Proverbs 6, which actually praises ants for being wise and saving up food for the winter. He says the real issue isn't trusting God, it's often mismanaging the blessings God already gave you.
Like being irresponsible with what you receive.
Exactly. He uses the simple example of a son asking dad for P100 for a school project, getting it, but then spending it on video games and coming back asking for another P100. Are we sometimes like that with God's provision?
Good point. So controlling your cash isn't about being stingy. It's about responsible stewardship. What are his 4 steps?
Step 1, stop borrowing, period. He quotes Proverbs 22.7, the borrower is slave to the lender. He calls things like 12 easy payments a lie that just keeps you enslaved.
His rule is simple.
It's super simple. If you cannot afford it now, with cash you have, do not buy it. He's especially tough on credit cards. Pay the entire balance every single month, he urges. Otherwise, the interest rates are brutal. He mentions 3.5% a month, which is 42% a year, plus penalties.
Ouch. Okay, step 2. Protect your assets.
This is all about insurance. He uses a great analogy, carrying a stick when you walk past houses with loud dogs.
You hope you don't need it.
But you carry it just in case, for protection. That's insurance for unexpected things like sickness, accidents, or death, especially if people depend on your income.
He discusses different types.
Yeah, term versus whole life. Basically, buy term insurance, which is chipper, pure protection, and invest the difference yourself if you're disciplined enough to actually invest it consistently.
But many people aren't.
He acknowledges that. Many buy term and spend the difference. So if you lack that discipline, or maybe if you're older, whole life insurance, which includes a savings investment component, though often with lower returns, might be a better fit, despite it being more expensive.
Okay. Step 3, live on 70% of your income. This sounds really hard for most people.
He knows it sounds hard, but insists it's possible if you're serious about cutting back on non-essentials. And this is where he drops that bombshell table.
The one showing how little things add up.
Exactly. Daily soft drinks, fancy coffees, mobile game purchases, junk foods, cigarettes, even small lottery bets, movies, impulse buys on sale. He shows how these seemingly tiny amounts compound over years into millions. His example table totaled P74 million over 35 years.
74 million pesos.
Yeah.
Just on small, everyday stuff. That's staggering.
It's meant to be a wake-up call. Compounding works against you with expenses just like it works for you with savings. He also says be mindful of big purchases, he mentions, still driving his old car, even though he could afford a new one because he'd rather invest that money.
Right. And the final step, step 4, is what to do with the remaining 30% or more.
You allocate it intentionally into 3 submissive funds. First, the generosity fund, 10% minimum, tithing, giving back. He sees this as an investment with eternal returns, non-negotiable.
Okay, 10% for generosity. What's next?
Second, the emergency fund. Another 10%. This is cash, easily accessible in a bank account for genuine, unexpected needs. The roof leaks, someone gets sick, car breaks down, you lose your job.
How much should be in the emergency fund?
The goal is to build it up to cover 3 to 6 months of your essential monthly living expenses. Once you hit that target, you don't need to keep adding 10% here. You can redirect that portion to the next fund.
And the third fund is for Building wealth.
Exactly, the wealth fund. This gets the last 10% or potentially 20% or more if your emergency fund is full, or you manage to live on even less than 70% of your income. This is the money you actively invest in those money machines, from Habit 5, paper assets, properties, businesses.
And crucially, don't just leave it sitting around.
Right, don't leave it in a piggy bank or a jar under the bed. This money needs to be put to work, invested, so it can grow and generate more income for you.
He really brings this habit home with that story about his friend Pam and her aging mother.
Yeah, it's a very poignant contrast. He describes the reality. Pam struggling to support her elderly sick mother, paying for her care and medicines, the financial strain.
And then he imagines an alternate reality.
What if the grandmother had followed these principles? Saved and invested consistently when she was younger. He paints a picture where she could have had, say, P10 million by age 63. She'd be living comfortably, paying for her own care, maybe even treating the family to vacations.
It forces you to think about your own future self or your own parents' future.
Absolutely. It makes it very personal. What kind of future are you creating right now with the choices you're making about money? What kind of legacy?
And the point isn't just to feel bad or inspired, but to take action.
Yes. The call to action is specific. Write down your own concrete plan for implementing these 4 steps and setting up those 3 funds: generosity, emergency, and wealth.
Okay, moving to the final habit we're covering today. Habit 7. Stick to your game. What's the core idea here?
It's about recognizing that God has given you a unique gift, a specific talent or strength, and that's the primary tool you should use to prosper. Focus is key.
Focus. Like not spreading yourself too thin.
Exactly. He quotes Zig Ziglar about needing to harness and concentrate your energy on one specific target to achieve anything significant. He tells that story about his friend Mela, the accountant.
She retired early after 24 years and wanted to open a restaurant.
Yeah, just because she liked eating out, and he strongly advised her against it.
Why?
Because her proven gift, her game, was accounting. He told her, start an accounting-related business. You can hit the ground running, use your expertise, make money now, then hire people for the parts you don't like. Then maybe down the road, if you still want, partner with a restaurant expert, but stick to your strength first.
Makes sense. Leverage what you already have. What are his 4 keys to playing towards success?
First, learn to play. He insists successful people aren't really working in the drudgery sense. They're playing. They're passionate about what they do.
Like how he feels about writing and speaking.
Right. He says it feels like heaven, even when the hours are long. He brings back that study of 5,000 entrepreneurs. Passion was the common denominator. Happiness comes from the passion that leads to success. If it feels like a constant grind, you might be in the wrong game.
Okay, second key.
Stick to your game. This is huge. Don't fall into the trap of thinking because you're good at thing A, you'll automatically be good at thing B.
The Michael Jordan example fits here perfectly.
The ultimate example.
Yeah.
GOAT in basketball struggled mightily trying to play professional baseball. His trading card values even reflected it. God in one sport, below average in another. Stay in your lane. Develop your gift fully. Don't wander off.
The third key is pretty counterintuitive. Forget your weakness.
Yeah, this goes against a lot of self-help advice. Don't waste precious time trying to shore up areas where you're just never going to be great. Be honest about what you're not good at.
Like him stopping songwriting.
Exactly. He knew he was just okay at it, so he focuses energy on writing and speaking where he could be excellent. He thinks the education system messes us up by trying to make everyone well-rounded.
Instead of specialized.
Right. Real-world success usually comes from being an expert in one thing, finding your niche. School rewards generalists, life rewards specialists. He fully admits his weaknesses, math, sports, and doesn't sweat trying to become great at them.
So if you don't work on weaknesses, what do you do about them? That leads to the fourth key.
Weaknesses are God's invitation to build a team. Focus all your energy on honing your strengths. Then find people whose strengths are your weaknesses and partner with them. Collaborate.
Your greatest asset is your strength.
And your second greatest asset is friends or partners whose strengths cover your weaknesses. Like him partnering with people good at accounting and bookkeeping while he focuses on speaking and writing. Find people who think your work is their play.
But you still need to grow and change within your game, right? You can't just stagnate.
Oh, absolutely. Reinvent yourself within your game. Growth is essential. But don't jump to a totally different game. He uses Stallone, again, huge success with Rocky and Rambo, action game. Bombed when he tried comedy, different game. Adapt and evolve, but stay true to your core strength.
And he wraps this habit up with that magnifying glass
And
analogy.
powerful. God is the sunlight, the source of power. If you keep moving the magnifying glass, your focus around, the light scatters, nothing catches fire. But if you hold it steady, concentrating God's power onto one single point, your passion, your gift, your unique game, that's when you generate real heat and make a significant impact.
Wow. What a journey through these habits, really drawing from the source material. We started by redefining wealth itself, finding that deep emotional why.
And then tackling those limiting beliefs, embracing that positive aggressiveness, building the actual money machines.
Doing control the cash flow with discipline, and finally, zeroing in on your unique game.
It's a really comprehensive framework the author presents, aiming to show that, financial abundance and deep personal happiness, they aren't opposites. They can actually go together through these intentional habits, grounded in purpose and, for him, faith.
It definitely offers a different way to think about being wealthy and successful.
Yeah, truly wealthy in the broadest sense.
So, thinking about everything we've explored in this deep dive, and especially that idea the author raises, that how you handle money is somehow connected to the state of your soul. Here's a final thought for you, the listener, to maybe mull over.
Based on just one of the habits we talked about today, what's one small practical action, just one thing you could commit to taking, maybe today, maybe this week, to align your own financial habits a little bit closer to your deepest values and the life you truly desire?